You are listening to Winterheart by Jansson, narrated by me, Sofia Engstrand. Winterheart. 4 days remained until Christmas Eve. The Advent candle holder in the kitchen window was lit. Large white snowflakes fell outside and settled on the medieval city wall. Beyond the wall, the Black Sea lay glittering, with broken ice floes under a grey sky. Gertrud Jakobsson gazed at the winter-clad ramblers who hurried along the seafront, where white frost made the trees shimmer. "Aren't you going to drink your coffee before it gets cold?" Raffaella asked. The coffee had a bitter taste. Puzzled, Gertrud looked up at her niece, who was sitting on the other side of the kitchen table. Raffaella had a strange look about her, as if all she wanted was for Gertrud to drink up, as if they were in a hurry, even though they had all afternoon. It was at that moment that the horrific suspicion came to her, and once the idea was in her head, she couldn't get rid of it. Did Raffaella want to poison her? No. Surely not. Raffaella was her only living relative, and her only visitor since they had sold the farm and moved into town when Nils could no longer cope. When he died, Raffaella had come to help plan the funeral. Gertrud had not been able to make any major decisions at the funeral parlour. The thought of Nils's death hit her with a strong sense of unease, rather than loss. Thinking of death and how quickly life could end scared her. The mornings when she woke up and saw his empty side of the bed, and the times she set the table for two and had to remove the extra plate when she realised he was no longer there. That scared her. He had taken his last wheezing breath and died, before he had finished telling her what he had decided to reveal on his deathbed. For 68 years they had lived together in prosperity and adversity. That counts for something. In any given situation, she knew what Nils would say, knew every one of his facial expressions, all his gestures. That was the result of being married for more than half a century. "We have to make a decision about Nils's funeral," Raffaella said. "I definitely think he should be cremated, so that you don't have to worry about looking after a grave." "I have to think." Gertrud had to consider the financial implications, and knew that Nils would have agreed. He had been economical, not to say downright stingy. An urn in a memorial grove was cheaper than a gravestone and the necessary maintenance. But Gertrud wanted to give him a solemn and lavish funeral. The money was there. Nils had sold house plots by the beach and made millions. He should have the most expensive oak coffin, wrought iron fittings, flower arrangements, and beautiful music. Gertrud wanted to invite all their friends and neighbours from Hemse for a lovely meal, and her thoughts were interrupted. "It might be enough if just you and I attend the actual funeral," Raffaella said. "But you have barely touched your coffee, Gertrud. It's getting cold. Drink up." It was there again, that look. Gertrud felt her hands shaking as she brought the coffee cup to her mouth. Raffaella trying to poison her was both far-fetched and inconceivable, yet an alarm bell had started ringing, and loudly too. Gertrud took a big sip and then rushed to the toilet. After locking the door, she spat the coffee into her toothbrush mug. She had swallowed some of it, and, slightly nauseous, she was now breaking out in a cold sweat. Her heart was beating hard. She could hear Raffaella running the tap in the kitchen. Was she washing up the cup to get rid of the evidence? "I'll be back tomorrow when you have made up your mind," Raffaella called, and Gertrud
Sample complete. Ready to continue?